Hey everybody, my name is Natalie Duncan-Emmons. I wanted to thank you for listening to this episode of The Morning Show. I'm the creator, the producer, and the host of the show. We want you to check out our website. It's themorningshowwithnatalie.com. You can go to that website. You can see all about our sponsors, all about the show. You can even listen to live episodes while they're going on right there from the website. Another way to listen to the show live is go to Live 365. You can download that app and just search for The Morning Show. It's right there. Super easy. We want you to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel if you will. That way you can keep up with what's going on The Morning Show. Thank you. I hope you enjoy it.
Hey friend, it's great to have you tuned into The Morning Show today. Here on The Morning Show, you'll hear your favorite Southern gospel music and some of the classics you'll never forget. And now, the hostess of The Morning Show, Natalie Duncan-Emmons.
When you wake up to the storm and all you feel are the waves crashing against your boat, you wonder if anybody remembers you or the journey that you're on. When you feel discouraged from what you see on the news or the events going on around you, well, friend, cut it off. Don't look to the left or to the right. Look up. And when everything inside of you is screaming to be afraid, to accept defeat, or to hand our enemy a victory, well, you need to sing, and then keep singing and sing it some more. For we are God's people. That's just what God's people do. Well, we sing.
When you said sing, from a laughing heart, just sing. When the night is darkest, sing. Let your joy explode and let music fill the air. You can sing when there's nothing else to do. Sing when something deep inside of you tells you that life is still a wonder. Just throw back your head and sing. When you said sing, from a laughing heart, just sing. When the night is darkest, sing. Let your joy explode and let music fill the air. You can sing when there's nothing else to do. Sing when something deep inside of you tells you that life is still a wonder. Just throw back your head and sing. When God created living things, He knew we'd need a way to share our fears, our questions, and our dreams. Oh, there were words, but words won't do when joy swells up inside. There simply had to be a better way. When you say sing, from a laughing heart, just sing. When the night is darkest, sing. Let your joy explode and let music fill the air. You can sing when there's nothing else to do. Sing when something deep inside of you tells you that life is still a wonder. Just throw back your head and sing. The birds God sent on flashing wings to fill the sky with song. Put music in the brook and crashing sea.
The wind blew through the threads of grass like fingers through the strings of golden harps that made the meadow sing.
Then He said sing, from a laughing heart, just sing. When the night is darkest, sing. Let your joy explode and let music fill the air. You can sing when there's nothing else to do. Sing when something deep inside of you tells you that life is still a wonder. Just throw back your head and sing.
The psalmist said, "Make a joyful noise unto the Lord, all ye lands. Serve the Lord with gladness. Come before His presence with singing. Know ye that the Lord, He is God. It is He that hath made us, and not we ourselves. We are His people and the sheep of His pasture. Enter into His gates with thanksgiving, and into His courts with praise. Be thankful unto Him, and bless His name. For the Lord is good. His mercy is everlasting, and His truth endureth to all generations."
Then He said sing, from a laughing heart, just sing. When the night is darkest, sing. Let your joy explode and let music fill the air.
You can sing
When there's nothing else to do, sing. When something deep inside of you tells you that life is still a wonder.
Consider circumstances growing out of control. Do you debate your dilemmas? Speculate on the outcomes. It can sure weigh heavy on your soul. But if you'll think about no more fears in a land where tears are forever wiped away, if you'll think about going home and the joy you'll know seeing Jesus face to face, your fear of the future fades when you're sure there's a hope beyond compare. It'll really help you live down here though trouble's coming near. If you'll think about there, instead of fretting about tomorrow, focus on the new song, rising out of heaven and the glory we will share. Instead of bogging down in humdrum, chart a course for the kingdom. It'll do you so much good to think about there. Cause if you'll think about no more fears in a land where tears are forever wiped away, if you'll think about going home and the joy you'll know seeing Jesus face to face, your fear of the future fades when you're sure there's a hope beyond compare. It'll really help you live down here though trouble's coming near. If you think about there. So friend, keep looking up. Set your mind on things above. If you'll think about no more fears in a land where tears are forever wiped away, if you'll think about going home and the joy you'll know seeing Jesus face to face, your fear of the future fades when you're sure there's a hope beyond compare. It'll really help you live down here though trouble's coming near. It'll really help you live down here though trouble's coming near. If you'll think about there. If you'll think about there. Think about there.
My name is Natalie Duncan-Emmons. You are listening to The Morning Show. Psalms 37:5 says, "Commit your way to the Lord. Trust in Him, and He will do this." The literal meaning of this verse is, roll your way onto Jehovah and trust upon Him, and He works. This brings to our attention the immediacy of God's actions once we commit or roll our burden of any kind from our hands into His. Whether the burden be sorrow or difficulty, physical need or concern over a loved one, He works. When does He work? Well, He works now. So today I encourage you to let Him work. Just roll your burdens on Him, look to Jesus, and let Him do what our Lord does. Let Him work. I'm glad you are listening to The Morning Show. There is no other place I'd rather be than right here with you.
When old Stephen was accused, lonely and bewildered, no one that day would stand by his side. So he just looked up toward the heavens, and he saw the face of Jesus, and it rolled him over the tide. And I've never said a prayer He could not answer, and I've never shed a tear that He could not dry. So when the take it so high you cannot bear.
God's people stood there trembling on the banks of the mighty Red Sea. God, we better get moving. They're coming after you and me.
Moses then stepped forward and held his rod up high. He said, fear not, stand still, God is on our side. And the water parted right before their eyes. They crossed on over to the other side.
So sister, grab your tambourine. There's victory in the camp. Satan's been defeated. Sing your song, let's dance. Honor, praise, and glory to our King on high, who brought to us salvation when we should have died. So sister, grab your tambourine. There's victory in the camp. Victory in the camp.
If you take your stand for Jesus, your faith will sure be tried. You'll have your share of troubles. They'll rob your peace of mind.
So hold on to the promise that has stood the test of time. It says, fear not, stand still, I am on your side. So sister, grab your tambourine. There's victory in the camp. Satan's been defeated. Sing your song, let's dance. Honor, praise, and glory to our King on high, who brought to us salvation when we should have died. So sister, grab that tambourine. There's victory in the camp. Satan's been defeated.
Oh, sing your song and dance.
Honor, praise, and glory to our King on high, who brought to us salvation when we should have died. So sister, grab your tambourine. There's victory in the camp. 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 So sister, grab your
We are all about some Carolina this week. They are our featured artists. They have been since Monday, and they will be until Friday. They're a little bit different than what we're used to here on the morning show, but we like different. That's what the morning show is all about. It's about diversity. It's about finding the perfect mix and blend so everyone can enjoy gospel music. I've been in touch with Foxy, Greg Fox, and he is excited about being on the morning show on Friday. You're going to love Greg. You're just going to fall in love with him. Just like we were today, we're going to be bringing you a very special segment on storms, all of the different storms of life. It's going to be brought to you by my sister, Nicole Smith. Yep, Nicole is back today, and you don't want to miss what she has to say. It'll be shortly after 7 o'clock, so don't miss that.
My Savior died upon a cross for things he had not done. The Lamb
God on Calvary, redemption for us won. They placed my Lord in Joseph's tomb with seals and guards about. An angel came down to the tomb and turned my Savior out. He rose from earth's domain upon Golgotha's brow. He lives on high beyond the sky. His tomb is empty now. And Mary came at early dawn to see where Jesus lay. His clothes were there, but he was gone. The stone was rolled away. The angel said to Mary there, why seek him among the dead? Go tell the world he is not here. He's risen like he said. He rose from earth's domain upon Golgotha's brow. He lives on high beyond the sky. His tomb is empty now. He rose from earth's domain upon Golgotha's brow. He lives on high beyond the sky. His tomb is empty now. He lives on high beyond the sky. His tomb is empty now.
True Song has spent the past couple of days in Nashville, Tennessee, working on a new music video. Michael Howard of the group tells us all about it. Here's Michael.
The title of the song is Army of Love, and so the concept for the video is that we show that, and we're going to be actually going to, I think, some homeless shelters, a nursing home, and doing what the song says and being an army of love, taking hope to the hopeless, and we're super excited about it. I think it's going to be a great experience, and it's going to really put some visual to the lyric of that song, because, it's easy to sing a song, that's one thing, but to actually live it and go out and show what the song is talking about is a whole different layer to it.
We can't wait to see the video. Here's the song, True Song, with Army of Love.
So many hearts are hurting. So many people in need. So many lost and lonely. Lord, give us eyes to see. We've got a message of healing for those who've given up. We're taking hope to the hopeless, 'cause we're an army of love. We are a world-changing, difference-making, kingdom-building, soul-shaking people of God. We are a light shining, death-defying, gospel-taking, testifying army of love. We've been given a mission, called to be the light. We're standing up to the darkness and pushing back on the night. Oh, we are a world-changing, difference-making, kingdom-building, soul-shaking people of God. We are the light shining, death-defying, gospel-taking, testifying army of love. Yeah, we're an army of love. Rise up, everybody go and tell someone. Rise up, tell them all about what love has done. Rise up, everybody go difference making, kingdom building, soul shaking. People of God, we are a light shining, deafness shining, gospel taking, testifying, army of love. We are a world changing, difference making, kingdom building, soul shaking. People of God, we are a light shining, deafness shining, gospel taking, testifying, army of love. Yeah, we're an army of love. Yeah, we're an army of love.
Music, ministry, and more. It's The Morning Show with Natalie Duncan-Emmons.
You're listening to The Morning Show. And now, with your patriotic point of view, here's Larry Gressett.
All the world's Tabasco sauce supply is made about 2.5 hours from New Orleans on Avery Island, which isn't so much an island but a salt dome surrounded by lush swampland in the heart of Louisiana's iconic Cajun country. The hot pepper sauce was first created 150 years ago by Edmund McIlhaney, a Maryland-born New Orleanian whose original recipe is still used today. McIlhaney married Mary Eliza Avery, whose family owned the island and had acquired wealth by cultivating the island's natural supply of rock salt. A banker by trade and a bon vivant, McIlhaney enjoyed gardening and began to experiment with pepper seeds until he perfected a recipe that is now known around the globe. The business has remained in the family, and the signature flavor still calls for the same original ingredients: Tabasco peppers, vinegar, and salt. The peppers are native to the area but are now grown all over the world, mainly on small farms in South America, but also as far away as Zimbabwe. Each bottle of hot sauce contains a worldly blend of peppers, which are mashed and salted, then aged in oak whiskey barrels for 3 years. When the concoction is done fermenting, the mash is brought to another portion of the factory and dropped into a massive mixing tank where it churns for a few weeks with vinegar before it is milled, tested for quality control, bottled, and shipped internationally. Tabasco sauce is currently available in more than 185 countries around the globe. Each day, the plant produces around 700,000 bottles. That's a lot of hot sauce. I'm Larry Gressett with your patriotic point of view.
The Patriotic Point of View was brought to you by Joe McGee Construction. Joe McGee Construction believes faith is one of God's greatest gifts. Family owned and operated for the past 34 years, Joe McGee Construction is the proud employer of some of Mississippi's best tradesmen. Together we are supporting our communities and working hard to ensure that every commute to work and every ride to school brings us safely home to our loved ones. Valuing faith, family, and the Magnolia State, Joe McGee Construction is building safer roads for a better Mississippi. Joe McGee is my friend, and I thank him for helping us bring you the very best mix of Southern gospel music, along with your patriotic point of view, here on The Morning Show.
I'm getting ready for a new day dawning. I'm getting ready for a brand new morning. Packing my bags for a heavenly journey. I can't wait to be there. No, I can't wait to be there. I'm getting ready for a new day dawning. I'm getting ready for a brand new morning. Packing my bags for a heavenly journey. I can't wait to be there. No, I can't wait to be there. I'm gonna sit by the crystal river, dangle my feet in the cool clear blue. I'm gonna sing with the saints and angels. I'm gonna be there. How about you? Well, I'm getting ready for a new day dawning. I'm getting ready for a brand new morning. Packing my bags for a heavenly journey. I can't wait to be there. No, I can't wait to be there. I've got a lot of old friends and loved ones. Some already have gone before. Hand in hand, we'll tour that city. Then we'll kneel at the feet wait to be there. I can't wait to be there. I'm getting ready for a new day dawning. I'm getting ready for a brand new morning. Packing my bags for a heavenly journey. I can't wait to be there. No, I can't wait to be there. I'm getting ready for a new day dawning. I'm getting ready for a brand new morning. Packing my bags for a heavenly journey. I can't wait to be there. No, I can't wait to be there. I can't wait to be there. I can't wait to be
If you gave me power, I could lose it all. Build an ivory tower just to watch it fall. But when my world's in pieces, I know I found the secret to confidence when my back's against the wall. I can do all things through Him who strengthens me. There is nothing that can take my victory. Situations come and go, and I face them 'cause I know I can do all things through Him who strengthens me. In my lowest places, He will never leave. I can sing His praises if I just believe. No matter what the circumstances, I'm standing with a God who stands with me, and He is everything I need. I can do all things through Him who strengthens me. There is nothing that can take my victory. Situations come and go, and I face them 'cause I know I can do all things through Him who strengthens me. I never need to worry 'cause He's taking care of me. I know that God is faithful and He's strong when I am weak. I never need to worry 'cause He's taking care of me. I know that God is faithful and He's strong when I am weak. I can do all things through Him who strengthens me. There is nothing that can take my victory. Situations come and go, and I face them 'cause I know I can do all things through Him who strengthens me. Who strengthens me. I can do all things.
The Gospel Music Association has been celebrating Southern gospel music this month with a series of videos on their social media outlets. The latest of these is Isaac Moore of the Inspirations, talking about a few folks who have inspired him along the way. Here's Isaac.
Some of the biggest musical influences in my life have been the Statesman Quartet and Greater Vision. They were played every Sunday morning in my house before church as we were getting ready. And my mom actually attributes Greater Vision and their music to getting her back on track with the Lord, so that's huge. I guess the very biggest musical influences in my life has been the group that I'm singing with today, and that's the Inspirations. My parents took me to hear them in Chattanooga, Tennessee when I was 6 years old, and from the age of 6 till the age of 19 years old, I prayed that God would let me sing with him someday, and he was faithful to that prayer. But without the influence of the Statesmen and Greater Vision, the Inspirations, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Here's the Inspirations now with their new radio single, which just happens to feature Isaac Moore. Here's What a Morning.
I can hear an angel play on a harp with golden strings. Soon my Lord will come and take me under to a land where angels roam. A morning when I view that land, when the last rose of life has faded, I shall rest on yonder shore. I can hear the trumpet sounding and an angel's rustling wings. I can hear the voice of my Savior calling, child, it's time to come and rest. Hallelujah, what a morning when I view that land, when the last rose of life has faded, I shall rest on yonder shore. Hallelujah, what a morning when I view that land, when the last rose of life has faded, I shall rest on yonder shore. I can listen to my heart, I can listen to the world, I can listen to my problems, but what I think I need to hear, nice and loud and crystal clear, is about the one who's gonna solve them. I need something that can fill my soul. On the record or the radio, ain't nothing like a gospel song. Makes me wanna sing it all day long. Something about that amazing grace, sound of praise makes my troubles not seem so strong. Let me hear a heart set free, hold it Bible to a melody. Turn it up and then play it again, play it again, play it on and on and on. Ain't nothing like a gospel song. Alright, let me stop and testify. I was dead and brought to life by the power of my Savior. But if I'm being real with you, sometimes I forget it's true. I could use a reminder. I need something that can fill my soul. On the record or the radio, ain't nothing like a gospel song. Makes me wanna sing it all day long. Something about that amazing grace, sound of praise makes my troubles not seem so strong. Let me hear a heart set free, hold it Bible to a melody.
Well, have you heard about Walmart? Walmart is closing down 21 stores in 12 states in the next couple of months. This is happening now and in the next few weeks. The company is also winding down its 2 remaining pickup locations in Illinois and Arkansas. You will no longer be able to do a store pickup, and hundreds of workers will be laid off at 5 e-commerce fulfillment centers across the U.S. The article that I am reading, it comes from the Insider that gives all of this information about all of these Walmart closing. The article goes into deep detail to try to analyze why so many Walmarts are closing at this particular time. It is not hard to me. We can't afford anything. We can't afford it. We go in a Walmart, it takes everything we have to get bare necessities. Groceries are 3 times, 4 times, sometimes 5 times as much as they were just a few years ago. More specifically, under the beginning of the Trump administration. We cannot buy luxury items, things that they depend on catching your eye as you walk through the store and just hope that you're going to buy it, even though you don't really need it. They just try to convince you that you need it. We can't buy those things anymore, Mr. Walmart. We can't buy those things, Mr. Biden. The economy is gone. It is at a complete standstill. It appears to be at not only a standstill, but in reverse mode, going downhill at excessive speeds. So it is not hard for me to figure out why Walmarts are closing in Arkansas, Georgia, Florida, Hawaii, Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Minnesota, New Mexico, Oregon, Texas, Washington, and Wisconsin. People don't have money to buy your things anymore. It's just that simple. So go ahead, close them down. We can't buy anything anyway.
There's a shortage on corn and there's a shortage on wheat. There's a shortage on beans. We've got a shortage on meat. Things that we're needing, we just can't hardly buy. Soon we'll be asking if we're all gonna die.
But I know a great thing that there's no shortage of. There's no
Shortage on God's mercy, there's no shortage on God's love. There's a shortage on fuel, or there's a shortage on gas. There's a shortage on wood, and there's a shortage on glass. Things that we wasted are now precious to buy. You know there's even a shortage on the air in the sky.
But I know a good thing that there's no shortage of. There's no
Shortage on God's mercy, there's no shortage on God's love. God is love and mercy unending. His precious love will leave you no doubt. When from Satan you need defending, God has supplied that will never run out. There's a shortage on friendship, there's a shortage on smiles, there's a shortage on neighbors, though there's millions for miles.
thank heaven for one thing that there's no shortage of. There's no
Shortage on God's mercy, there's no shortage on God's love. There's no shortage. There's no shortage.
There's no shortage on God's love. I say that you feel the love in my heart right now.
There's no shortage.
God's got the love. He's got the mercy. He's got everything you need. Feel the love.
When I first met him, I didn't know
wasn't scary like you think. He was wearing white, had an angel's face. He started talking before I knew. We were down the road a mile or two. He'll take you farther than you wanna go. Show you hurt like you never known. You lose yourself one step at a time. He'll keep you longer than you wanna stay. Cost you more than you wanna pay. Oh, the road to hell begins holding the devil's hand. Whisper in my ear and told me things I wanted to hear. With every lie that left his lips, I could feel him tighten up his grip. That's when I should have turned and ran into the light and away from him. But I listened to every word he said, 'cause lying is what he does best. He'll take you farther than you wanna go. Show you hurt like you've never known. You lose yourself one step at a time. He'll keep you longer than you wanna stay. Cost you more than you wanna pay. Oh, the road to hell begins holding the devil's hand. Oh, I spent a lot of years watching all my demons dancing there, laughing at me. Oh, but finally said I wanna be free. Lord, set me free. Light came down all at once. The nail-scarred hands picked me up. Then he looked that devil in the eye. He said, you can't have him, this one's mine. So take your hands off him, 'cause this one's mine.
Hey everyone, this is Randy, your friendly morning show announcer, taking just a second to remind you that you can find the morning show on YouTube. Just go to YouTube and search The Morning Show, Natalie Duncan-Emmons, and it pops right up. Once there, you can listen to all of the past shows, episodes, interviews that you might have missed. So go to YouTube, search The Morning Show, Natalie Duncan-Emmons, and listen to the morning show as long as your little heart desires. Hey, thanks again for supporting Natalie and the morning show, and as always, may the Lord richly bless you.
For the next couple of weeks, we are going to be telling you about a new concert that is coming up June the 9th at Salem Baptist Church. Now, this concert will be sponsored by the Fellowship of Christian Athletes from Mid-Mississippi, but it will be hosted at Salem Baptist Church, and we are excited to announce that Todd Tillman will be at Salem Baptist Church on Friday night, June the 9th. This is a free concert to the public. There will be a love offering taken that night to raise money for the FCA, so we encourage you to participate in that. But there is no ticket required. This is free to all. There will be a meet and greet that will be held at 5:30 that Friday afternoon. You can get a professional picture made with Todd Tillman, and there will be a question and answer time hosted by yours truly. Tickets for the meet and greet are $20. Those can be purchased at the door. We'd like for you to be a part of the entire evening, if at all possible, so mark your calendars for Friday night, June the 9th It'll be an evening with Todd Tillman, and Tate Emmons will open for Todd Tillman. So if you have not seen Tate in concert, this would be a great opportunity to see them both. Hope to see you at Salem Baptist Church June the 9th for Todd Tillman.
Well, hold on. I know it won't be long
Till we reach that city,
in the air.
he went to prepare.
Pray up, and always look up.
Look for my
Savior coming back in the cloud. Well, trials and troubles in your daily routine can get you sidetracked if you know what I mean. But my Lord Jesus, He's mighty and strong.
He can fix your troubles and it won't take long.
Well, hold on. I know it won't be long
till we reach that city.
in the air.
He went to prepare.
Pray up, and always look up.
Look for my
Savior coming back in the cloud. Well, Jesus left, but He'll be back one day. So until then, never cease to pray. He went to build a place for you and me,
Where we'll live together for eternity.
Well, hold on. I know it won't be long
till we reach that city.
in the air.
He went to
prepare. Pray up, and always look up.
Look for my
Savior coming back in the cloud.
Look for my
Savior coming back in the cloud.
Well, I've fallen in love with our featured artist of the week, Carolina. I've never been to a concert. I've never seen them live, but I do enjoy their sound very much. Carolina sings gospel, classic, country, and Americana music. And we like it all. We really do. We think there's a place for every bit of it. Here's one of their country classics. Now, when I say they sing country, they go way back and get the true classics. The true classics. Like this one right here. This one is called Seven Bridges Road. Some of you will recognize it. Here's Carolina.
There are stars in the southern sky, southward as you go. There is moonlight and moss in the trees down the seven bridges road. Now I have loved you like a baby, like some lonesome child, and I have loved you in a tame way, and I have loved you wild. Sometimes there's a part of me has to turn from here and grow, running like a child from these warm stars down the seven bridges road. There are stars in the southern sky, And if ever you decide you should go, there is a taste of time, sweet and honey, down the 7 Bridges Road.
We're glad you're listening this morning to The Morning Show with Natalie Duncan-Emmons. Stay tuned. The best is yet to come.
There are 3 barriers, and here's the first one. It is pride. Don't pray because I can handle it. We don't ask him, I'll work it out. It's pride. The reason people don't get on their knees is pride. How can you be too prideful to get on your knees to holy, righteous, sovereign God? Every breath you have is a gift from him. Somebody says, I don't need to get on my knees. No, you don't. You don't need to honor God. You don't need to reverence God, but you get what comes with that. It is pride that keeps us off our knees. Pride that keeps us in sin. The second thing is rebellion. Sin. As long as there's sin in their life, there's no intimacy with God. When people say, well, I pray, but nothing happens. I pray, but God isn't answering me. I pray and then you need to look at yourself and ask yourself the question, God isn't the problem, you're the problem. There is no intimacy where there is rebellion. Now think about this. You have to think about your own relationships. Can you have an intimate relationship with a husband or wife who's just rebellious against you? No, you cannot. You can't have an intimate relationship with your children if they're in rebellion in their life. And then the last one is real simple. If it's pride, if it's rebellion, and then if you're in a hurry. If you're in a hurry, you won't develop an intimate relationship with God. It takes time. Time to read his word and meditate upon it. Think about it. Ask questions. God, what are you saying to me? Lord, how does this apply to my life? Is this a warning? Is this something that I need to look at in my life? Lord, thank you for this wonderful promise. Time to read. Time to talk to him. Time to listen to him. Cannot tell you how very important that is. And you see, here's what will happen. The more you listen, the more you're going to hear. And the more you hear, the more excited you're going to be. And the more excited you're going to be, the more time you want to give to listen to him.
Thou hast died. mercy, Lord, to thy precious bleeding Son.
All right, we're going to get the scene set with the Irwins singing about a storm. And right after this, my sister Nicole Smith will be here with a special segment covering the different storms of life. You're not going to want to miss it. Here's the Irwins.
Caught in the middle of a hurricane, thought I would drown beneath the crashing waves, but you are my anchor, you kept me safe. That's why I'm here today. After the storm, I'm still alive, because the Lord was on my side. Sometimes I thought I couldn't take anymore, but I'm still standing after the storm. I see the favor of your holy face. Now that the clouds are all passed away, a beautiful rainbow follows the rain. With joy I sing your praise. After the storm, I'm still alive, because the Lord was on my side. Sometimes I thought I couldn't take anymore, but I'm still standing after the storm. I'm looking back triumphantly, because you are my victory. After the storm, I'm still alive, because the Lord was on my side. Sometimes I thought I couldn't take anymore, but I'm still standing. I'm still standing. After the storm, I'm still alive, because the Lord was on my side. Sometimes I thought I couldn't take anymore, but I'm still standing. I'm still standing after the storm.
Today we are bringing you a special series on storms, the basic storms of life. You'll recognize the voice of the deliverer, my sister Nicole Smith. She has something very special today, and I can't wait for you to hear. Here's Nicole talking about storms.
There are 5 specific storms that we as children of God will all face. Today, we will look at all 5. The first is the storm of disobedience. Jonah felt this storm. God deals with his children. They are his, and he does not tolerate deliberate, open rebellion. If and when necessary, he will chase his little rebel down with a storm. Because he loves you, and for your own safety and the ultimate good, he wants you in fellowship, walking with him. Have you ever found yourself in this storm? Well, we all have. Repent quickly, sincerely, and humbly, with your whole heart, because our Father loves a humble heart, and then he will do the rest.
I have journeyed through the long dark night, out on the open sea. My faith alone, sight unknown, and yet his eyes were watching me. The anchor holds, though the ship is battered. The anchor holds, sails are torn, I have fallen on my knees as I face the raging seas, the anchor holds in spite of the storm. I've had visions, I've had dreams, I've even held them in my hand, but I never knew they would slip right through like they were only grains of sand. The anchor holds, though the ship is battered. The anchor holds, though the sails are torn. I have fallen on my knees as I face the raging seas. The anchor holds in spite of the storm. I have been young, and I am older now, and there has been beauty that these eyes have seen. But it was in the night, through the storms of my life. Oh, that's where God proved His love to me. The anchor holds, though the ship's been battered. The anchor holds, though the sails are torn. I have fallen on my knees as I face the raging seas. The anchor holds in spite of the storm. I have fallen on my knees as I face the raging seas. The anchor holds in spite of the storm.
The second storm is the storm of discipleship. Do you remember the story when Jesus was asleep in the boat? There are certain storms that you will inevitably face because you are in the boat with Jesus. It is part of the cost of being one of His very own. Now, these storms do not bother Jesus. He expects them. He has already conquered them. Thus, He could just, quote, sleep through them. Oh, but He will always hear you when you call out to Him in the midst of these storms. When you're scared and afraid, so don't hesitate. Just call out to Him and watch Him work. He will calm things. It may be the storm, or it may be you, but He always hears your cries in the storm.
Their boat was sinking. How could he sleep? The waters were crashing out in the deep. The disciples cried, Master, don't you care if we drown? He stood and decreed just one word of peace. Those billows bowed down. He's the God of the storm. He's the Lord of the sea. He's a way maker, and He's making a way for you and for me. He said He would never leave. He's there when my sails get torn. This ship's not going under, not afraid of the thunder. He's the God of the storm. I've seen clouds gather, I've felt the wind blow. The tempest was raging out of control. But in the darkness of midnight, when I cried out and prayed, there was a change. The God of the rain came walking the ways. He's the God of the storm. He's the God of the storm. He's the Lord of the sea. He's the Lord of the sea. He's a way maker. He's a way maker. And He's making a way for you and for me. He said He would never leave. He's there when my sails get torn. This ship's not going under, not afraid of the thunder. He's the God of the storm. This ship's not going under, not afraid of the thunder. He's the God of the storm. 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 God of the storm.
The third storm is the storm of purpose. Peter had the chance to walk on water. God sends these storms intentionally to develop you, to provide opportunities for you to strengthen and exercise your faith, to open your spiritual eyes and your ears. This is where He's teaching you to adjust your vision away from the storm and into His glorious eyes. You have never really caught a glimpse of Him quite like you can in the middle of one of these storms. That's intentional as well. Here you can begin to know the fullness of your salvation and see the mighty works of God up close and personal. It's where you learn to trust Him. It is part of your journey and where your relationship with Jesus grows. Do not waste these storms.
All who sail the sea of faith find out before too long
quickly blue skies can grow dark and gentle winds grow strong. Suddenly fear is like white water pounding on the soul. Still we sail on knowing that our Lord is in control. Sometimes he calms the storms with a whisper, peace be still. He can settle any sea, but it doesn't mean he will. Sometimes he holds us close and lets the winds and waves go wild. Sometimes he calms the storm, and other times he calms his child. He has a reason for each trial that we pass through in life. And though we're shaken, we cannot be pulled apart from Christ. No matter how the driving rain beats down on those who hold to faith, a heart of trust will always be a quiet, peaceful place. Sometimes he calms the storm with a whisper, peace be still. He can settle any sea, but it doesn't mean he will. Sometimes he holds us close and lets the wind and waves go wild. Sometimes he calms the storm, and other times he calms his child. Whoa, whoa. Sometimes he calms the storm with a whisper, peace be still. He can settle any sea, but it doesn't mean he will. Sometimes he holds us close and lets the wind and waves go wild. Sometimes he calms the storm. 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 Other times he calms his child.
The fourth storm is the storm of judgment on the world. Noah was an eyewitness to such a storm. Now the day will come when God will ultimately judge this world completely. But even now there are seasons and glimpses of that forthcoming judgment when God deals with things. It's meant to wake up this lost and dying world and help them see their need for Jesus, to cause them to run to Him in repentance. What do we as the church do in these storms? Get in the boat. There's safety and security in the ark of Jesus Christ. So stay close to Him. Ride it out. Pray. Watch and see what He does. There is safety and consolation under His wings from such a storm.
In the dark of the midnight have I oft hid my face, while the storms howl above me, and there's no hiding place. Mid the crash of the thunder, precious Lord, hear my cry. Keep me safe the storm passes by, till the storm passes over, till the thunder sounds no more, till the clouds roll forever from the sky. Hold me fast, let me stand in the hollow of thy hand. Keep me safe till the storm passes by. Many times Satan whispered, there is no use to try, for there's no end of sorrow, there's no hope by and by. But I know thou art with me, and tomorrow is over, till the thunder sounds no more, till the clouds roll forever from the sky. Hold me fast, let me stand in the hollow of thy hand.
The final storm is the storm of departure. Elijah left this world in a whirlwind. A whirlwind is definitely a type of storm. The storms that saints ride in to go home are storms. They can be different shapes and different sizes. Some can last for years, and yet others show up quickly on the evening sky, as if out of nowhere. Death has no sting for the child of God. Jesus promised that. Anything that you hear or experience leading to home is just a storm. And even though there are times that they are scary, remember, you have an escort and a Savior in the midst of all storms, even the last one. This is a great storm, the greatest of them all, because this is the storm that takes you home.
Rough and rolling waters pull my ship across the sea. Go ahead and cast your fury, you're not a threat to me. Force your anger with the whirlwind, your waves upon the shore. I'm sailing with the master, we've weathered storms before. We've sailed through the rain, we've sailed through the wind, weathered the tempest, we're back on course again. The man who built this vessel knows it can endure. I'm sailing with the master, we've weathered storms before. Listen, hear the laughter in the rain, see the beauty in the lightning. Storms are passing things. There's music in the thunder, the winds are nothing more than a voice to just remind me we've weathered storms before. We've sailed through the
glad you're listening this morning to The Morning Show with Natalie Duncan-Emmons. Stay tuned. The best is yet to come.
You're listening to The Morning Show. And now it's time for a few moments of laughter with one of the funniest guys I know, Mark Lowry.
I did a children's pastors banquet for about 1,000 children's pastors from all over the world not long ago. And they had it's hard to cook for 1,000 people. I've never tried it, but I'm sure it is. They had a steak and a baked potato and a salad, and then they had this moon-shaped orange-colored vegetable on the plate. I'd never seen a moon-shaped orange-colored vegetable in my life. And I picked it up and bit into it, and it was just nasty. It crunched, and had no flavor. And I asked them what it was, and they said it was sweet potatoes. I said, sweet potatoes aren't supposed to crunch. Sweet potatoes are supposed to come out of the oven on Thanksgiving morning with marshmallows on top of them and nuts down in them and juice all through them. They're not supposed to crunch. Doritos are supposed to crunch. And I was up north, I admit, I was up north, and the lady said, well, oh, dear Brother Lowry, we don't overcook our vegetables in the north. We don't want to cook the vitamins out of the vegetables. I said, for goodness sakes, take a pill and cook the vegetables.
The comedy segment was brought to you by John G. Weatherford Incorporated. John G. Weatherford Incorporated, well, they're proud to be connected to the morning show. They're known to most as Weatherford Oil. They're a third-generation owned and operated family business that values God, family, employees, and customers. For over 40 years, they've been providing diesel, gasoline, motor oil, hydraulic fluid, grease, and logging supplies to some of Mississippi's best loggers, farmers, chicken growers, land managers, municipalities, individuals, and convenience stores. Whether you need large or small quantities, well, they'd love the opportunity to talk to you about supplying all of your fuel and oil needs. With 2 locations, they proudly serve Scott, Lauderdale, Newton, Smith, Neshoba, Jasper, Clark, Kemper, Rankin, and Leake counties. If you appreciate Weatherford Oil helping to bring you the morning show, well, we would appreciate it if you'd call John at Meridian, 601-693-0981, 601-693-0981, or Jason in Forest, 601-469-3931. That's 601-469-3931. And let them take care of all of your fuel and oil needs. We appreciate them. We appreciate you.
When the trumpet sounds, we'll be called away to a place so grand, land of perfect day. With our cares behind, only joy to find as we leave the ground when the trumpet sounds. When the trumpet sounds, we'll be called away to a place so grand, land of perfect day. With our cares behind, only joy to find as we leave the ground when the trumpet sounds.
We can hear the constant sounds of trouble, wars, and pain. We can hear distressing news that falls on us like rain. We can hear this whole world as it murmurs, creaks, and groans. But we're listening for the sound that calls us home.
When the trumpet sounds, we'll be called away to a place so grand, land of perfect day. With our cares behind, only joy to find as we leave the ground when the trumpet sounds.
We have turned our watching eyes toward the eastern sky. We'll be sure to hear it when it comes our time to fly. We will shed these binding chains of flesh that have us bound.
if you've ever wondered what the secret is to a successful ministry or a successful group, Grant Gibson of Karen Peck and New River says he's got it all figured out. Here's Grant. He can tell you himself.
I think I have discovered the secret sauce of why groups like Karen Peck and New River and artists like Jason Crabb have had such successful ministries for so many years. And that's simply this, that they love on the people. I can't tell you how many people come to our concerts and mention that they've been following Karen since she's been with the Nealons. And one thing I think that sets Karen apart and Jason too is the fact that it doesn't matter if we're in a big auditorium or a small church, they will stay until the last person's left the building and listen to whatever kind of story or trial that they may be going through and pray with them and just sow life into them. And I think that is one of the things that has kept New River and the Crabb family on the road for so many years.
I agree with you, Grant. I think that plays a huge role. You have to be good to people. If you're going to be in ministry, you've just got to do it.
This wilderness is not the place I ever thought I'd be. And I've never been the kind to let clouds settle over me. Sometimes when I'm standing still, the hardest thing to do is let my heart tell my feet to move. Even in the waiting, we can hear the Father saying, go ahead and claim the victory. Come on and dance.
has been number 1 on the Power 50 for 6 weeks in a row. 6 weeks! It's a great song, but 6 weeks? Lost and Found is still at number 3. It's a little fishy to me, but I'm not going to be sore about it. Let's just enjoy this great song. We do love tribute. We really do.
We have come too far to turn back now. There's an end inside we see. And the Lord has brought us safe thus far with His grace and perfect peace. But too many battles have been lost with the finish line in sight. So let us keep the faith and win this race before the day turns into night. When you're halfway up the mountain, there's no time to rest a while. not failed us yet. So let us just keep traveling on. When you're halfway up the mountain, there's no time to rest a while. When you're halfway to your victory, you must go that extra mile. Just keep pressing on, though the road is long. When your feet get tired, still you must walk on. Oh, when you're halfway up the mountain, just keep climbing to the top. When you're halfway up the mountain, there's no time to rest a while. When you're halfway to your victory, you must go that extra mile. Just keep pressing on, though the road is long. When your feet get tired, still you must walk on. Oh, when you're halfway up the mountain, just keep climbing to the top. Just keep pressing on, though the road is long. When your feet get tired, still you must walk on. Oh, when you're halfway up the mountain, just keep climbing to the top. Keep on climbing, just climbing to the top. Climbing to the top. I'm so glad I heard my Savior gently pleading. Now an errant child of God I truly know. All the way home his precious hand is daily leading. It's a grand and a glorious feeling as I go. It's a grand and glorious feeling, grand and glorious feeling, just to be a child of God. How His love comes over me stealing, love comes over me stealing, making my pathway brighter grow as on I plod. Every day I'll tell your story. I will tell your story of His love, I'll ever sing. What a grand and glorious feeling, and a glorious feeling, just to be walking and to be talking with my King, my Lord and King. Happy am I along the way to life eternal. Jesus has saved and washed my soul as white as snow. Some of these days I'll reach my wondrous home supernal. It's a grand and a glorious feeling as I go. It's a grand and glorious feeling, grand and glorious feeling, just to be a child of God. How His love comes over me stealing, making my pathway brighter grow as on I plod. Every day I'll tell your story. I will tell your story of His love, I'll ever sing. What a grand and glorious feeling, and a glorious feeling, just to be walking and to be talking with my King. Every day I'll tell your story. I will tell your story of His love, I'll ever sing. What a grand and glorious feeling, and a glorious feeling, just to be walking and to be talking with my King, my Lord and King.
This is In the Know, keeping you up to date on your favorite Southern gospel artists and songs. Becky Isaacs Bowman talks about her hero, Candy Christmas.
I talk about how the first time I met Candy, we were in Kempton, Pennsylvania, and we were singing at the Amish Mennonite outdoor event. And I saw Candy walk off that bus, and she looked like $1 million. I wanted to be Candy. I wanted to sing like Candy. I wanted to know Candy. And I would just listen to the Hemp Hills sing and her sing. And if you would have told me 30 years later that she'd be one of my best friends and my pastor, I would have said, you're crazy.
That's Becky Isaacs Bowman. And now you're in the know.
My boat of life to shine again. I know the master of the wind. Sometimes I soar like an eagle to the sky. Among the peaks my soul can be found. An unexpected storm may drive me from the heights, may bring me low, but it cannot bring me down. I know the master of the wind. Ooh, I know the maker of the rain. He can calm the storm, make the sun to shine again. I know the master of the wind. Let Jesus calm your storm, make the sun to shine again. He is the master of the
I want to get in one more from our featured artist of the week, Carolina, and I want to encourage you to get some of their music. It's not all available on iTunes. There are a couple of albums available on iTunes, but the majority of their albums are on the website, carolinatheband.com. I hope you'll go out there and support Carolina. You'll enjoy the music, I guarantee you that. Here's a song I had never heard before until I heard it by Carolina, and I'm kind of swept away with the song. It's called Jonah, Job, and Moses. See what you think about this one. Here's Carolina, our featured artist of the week.
They were solid as a rock and stubborn as a stone, honest to the cold and ornery to the bone. And the good book says their lot in life was not a bed of roses for Jonah, Job, and Moses. Now Jonah knew the darkness in the belly of the whale, and Job saw tribulation, and Moses went through hell. There were tears and fears and heartaches in big and bigger doses for Jonah, Job, and Moses. And me, I'm just a struggling soul, 10,000 years removed. I've been lost out in the desert. I've been swallowed and consumed, and I pray to God for patience. Make me more like those three. Help me survive my troubles. Let me join that band of brothers. Let it be Jonah, Job, Moses, and me. I've battled with some demons. I've lost the ones I've loved. I shook my fist at Jesus, and I could not rise above. It was in the anger of those hours I came to feel the closest to Jonah, Job, and more.
loving soul. 10,000 years removed, I've been lost out in the desert. I've been swallowed and consumed, and I pray to God for patience. Make me more like those three. Help me survive my troubles. Let me join that band of brothers. Let it be Jonah, Joe, Moses, and me. Let it be Jonah, Joe, Moses, and me. They were solid as a rock and stubborn as a stone.
And that concludes another Wednesday episode 348 right here on The Morning Show. How about that? Special thanks to Nicole Smith for joining us today, giving us that special segment on storms. Don't forget about the Todd Tillman concert coming up on June the 9th. We want you to mark your calendar for that, and if you will, help us get the word out. It's going to be a great, great time. Enjoy your day. We'll do this again tomorrow. What do you think?
Strong enough when times are tough. Send down from up above on the wings of a white dove. Our love is strong enough when times are tough. Send down from up above on the wings of a white dove. Winners never quit, quitters never win. It'll be that way to the very end. It's all good, no matter what people say. 'Cause you and me, baby, yeah, we walk by faith. It's a God thing, I hear the birds sing. Storms come and knocking, but we just keep on rocking. Like a sanctuary, extraordinary. Money can't buy this kind of love. Our love is strong enough when times are tough. Send down from up above on the wings of a white dove. Our love is strong enough when times are tough. Send down from up above on the wings of a white dove. Our love, sing down from up above on the wings of a white dove. Strong enough when times are tough. Sing down from up above on the wings of a white dove.
You've been listening to The Morning Show with Natalie, Duncan-Emmons. We're glad you joined us. We want to invite you back tomorrow when once again you'll hear some of the very best in gospel music and some of the finest in Christian entertainment. Will you join us tomorrow? Is it a date? We'll look for you then. God bless and goodbye, everybody.